Hello everybody, I'm Conquering History Games and welcome back to, I think this is part 5 of my Malenyevist campaign here in Suzerain. I think in the last episode Bernard Serkis died, so we got to go to the funeral for that soon. But of course, let's start by checking out the news. What's the word? Swordfish politician shot dead. There are protests after the death of Bernard Serkis. People pouring into the Republic Avenue in response to the Young Swords attack. Similar protests around Soylent soon turned into riots. There's been protests. I think this is all just basically saying there's protests. Yeah, political chaos. People saying you gotta condemn. Yeah, basically all the Young Swords and the freaking the left and the right are both fighting one another in the street. So that's what's going on here. 1927, never again. The real truth behind the economic crisis. Geopolitical. Rumburg has closed its consulate in our. Okay, so this is foreign policy. It's Swordlin. This comes after the deployment of Rumburgian troops near the northern borders of Swordlin. The flag was lowered overnight. This is a one-sided provocation from the north. Interesting. The wrong economy. The economist believes in free market. Now, before anyone calls us Arcasia sympathizers, we don't support the excessive form of capitalism Arcasia is spreading. Our belief is that a balance could exist where the government could support the private sector with government money. Yeah, that's a little funny. Like, it's almost like they're saying, look, we're in favor of a free market economy, but let's be clear here. We're not talking about Arcasian free market. We're talking about where the government is subsidizing us. That's as free as it gets. Underhaul construction is once again number 1. This is the one owned by Tusk. Fuck this guy. Let me tell you something. Even when I'm a capitalist, I'm going to try to screw this guy. But I'm not a capitalist in this playthrough, so let's move on. So that's the news today. United Kontana Embassy is helping the protesters so the red youth could escape inside. Alright, we got a few different things here. What's this? Arcasia's developing its first ICBM. That's not good. Well, what do we got here? A reaction to the unrest. I think that this is a new thing. The political situation around the country has escalated. Chief strategist Lucien Galade has prepared several action plans that we can execute. What should we do to address the intensifying political climate? Call for restraint. Visit affected towns. Label all protesters as traitors. Expand the police or reject the plans. I think these are new things. Because I updated this game ahead of time before I started playing it. Because when I was going to play it, it had said, oh, hey, in a couple weeks there's going to be an update. And I thought, well, let me just update it now. So, I don't know how new this is. This is probably like a public opinion thing. And it's not saying here whether this is none of this, like, expanding the police. This doesn't seem to, like, say it's going to cost me more budget or whatever. So let's just go ahead and let's visit the affected towns in person. Kind of get an idea of what's going on there. What's this? Turn 2. I visited the towns most affected by the political violence to show our presence and support. More news here. Holsword reports. He talks to protesters. It sends a powerful message to Swordfish citizens. The government is walking among them and listening to their problems. Holsword is desperately trying to restart Swordlin's economy after the recession. This political unrest is not helping, said a Swordfish scholar and professor of law at Holsword State University in Holsword. Okay. It was late in the evening. It was getting quiet, and I sprawled out of it. Let's prepare to go home. Needed to make some time for my family. Sergei was there, but my secretary came in. Mr. President, Mr. Tusk is here to see you. You had a meeting with the Lotharberg spokesman. I'm so sorry for not giving you proper notice. Okay. Let's see here. Do your job properly next time. Do you expect me to track everything myself? No, that's a little too mean. let's just say don't worry about it. I want to meet Tusk, actually. Thank you for your understanding. Mr. Tusk swaggered into the room. More like he, I don't know, is rolling jowls what you would call swaggering? I'm just saying. I met Swordland's most prominent businessman once or twice, but never alone. He had large jowls, blindingly shiny shoes, and the air of someone who was used to getting his way. Let's see here. Yeah, you know why people like Tusk in meetings? Because he's so fat, he gets to be next to everybody! Anyway. Anything to drink, Mr. Tusk? Water? Whiskey?
Cognac, preferably from before you were born, sweetheart.
I'll check the supply room. Livia backed out of the office, shooting me an apologetic look as she did so. Walter hung up his hat, which I could see was lined with mink. He fixed me a long, hard stare, then broke into a toothy grin.
Good evening, Mr. President. I'm here to congratulate you. Oh, sorry, I'm out of breath. I'm such a fat ass. There was too many syllables. And congratulate. Oh, I did it again. Oh, I made it worse because I said the word again. My business partners and I wish you a successful term as the leader of our nation.
Get to the point, Mr. Tusk. Why are you really here?
I see that you're not very welcoming, Mr. President. I really congratulated you. I see no need to necessitate rudeness.
I don't believe I'm being rude. Time is money, after all, isn't that right? Walter took a conspicuous look at the diamond-encrusted watch on his wrist. I don't remember what cartoon it was or something, but there was this joke. It's like, you see this watch? It's got so many jewels in it that it doesn't work. And you just see that the minute hand and the second hand are just clicking against these huge, like, gems that are in it. So it's just... and not actually telling time.
Yes, that's true, but at the same time, patience and humility are important virtues for a man in your position. You are the president, after all. May I continue?
Yeah, I'm sure you're a very humble person. Okay, he wants to build a profitable relationship. He's got some concerns. What are the concerns?
The ruined state of the economy in Swordland has influenced everyone. The recession hit all of us hard.
Walter pulled out a box of cigars from his jacket.
I had these brought from Lesbia, the best cigars in the whole continent. Would you like to try one?
You go ahead, I don't want to smoke. Okay, puffed away.
I heard you purchased stock from Armandine Industries in Arcadia. Smart buy. They're developing new gadgets that are going to be profitable.
Spend money to make money, they say.
You'd be surprised at what one can achieve given the resources in capitalism. I will buy a couple of thousands of shares, too, to expand my portfolio. Hope the investment pays off for us both, President.
Oh.
For us, it's worrying to see you've decided to promote a planned economy.
We need more government control.
Do you really, though? Our government's already overburdened with managing several key industries, with the loss of efficiency.
Leaned forward in his chair.
The highway investment was a good call, but there's more to gain in the high-speed rail, especially for business logistics.
We're trying to boost the economy.
The right intentions, for sure. We could be close allies. We can get you out of this recession.
The investment
project contract will be awarded to one of the three main contenders.
He pulls a check out of his pocket and slid it towards me on the table. My personal bank details were listed on it with a deposit of 500,000 Swordish Ren ready to be transferred. This was 6 months of a president's salary.
If the contract is somehow awarded to Underhall Construction, they would not only work hard and deliver, but also do it on time. What do you think, Mr. Rain? Wouldn't that be good?
He put his index finger on the check. There was a noise by the door. Livia Suno was standing there holding a tray with a bottle and 2 glasses. I'm so sorry, Mr. Tusk, but all I could find was a 1942 Sevigny. I hope that's acceptable. She quickly put the tray on my desk and walked out. Tusk eyed her as she left.
Remind me to visit your office more often. Now, where were we? Do we have a deal?
So, as we all know, this is a Malenyevist run. AKA a communist run. AKA an anti-capitalist run. So, Tusk and his oligarchs are inherently our enemy. Whether we're going for a kind of social democracy style government, or if I end up going for autocratic, like really autocratic, not autocratic, well, yeah, I guess kind of autocratic, dictatorial run to, force a planned economy and force the government to improve our nation. But you see, is there any better way to redistribute the wealth than literally taking it out of the hands of the capitalists? You see, that's why all true communists should invest in the stock market. That way, that's how you seize the means of production. It's airtight, foolproof, undisputed logic. So, what we're going to say is, not yet. We both know you can do better than that amount.
You're right about that. I'll make this my final offer.
He pulled out another check with a smile. This time, woman. But he had it ready? He didn't even write a new one in front of me. He's just like, shit, he was ready for me. This time, 1 million Sordish Ren was listed on the piece of paper. I accept the offer. Take the bribe. He grinned. Oh, I got an achievement. Donations. It's there in the corner. I don't think you guys can see it, though. He grinned and let out a laugh. The check was right between his hands. He pulled his hands back and I took the check. Wait, let me do his laugh.
Oh, gosh, Han Solo. This deal will also show to the group that the administration hasn't left the private sector behind.
I ain't doing shit for this bitch. What's he gonna do? Tell the police I bribed the president and he didn't do what I bribed him to do. You know what? There's so as I'm sure. Well, actually, I don't know how many of you follow sports, especially like collegiate sports, but it's an open secret that there is bribery, there is corruption in regards to getting students to be, particularly football players, but it's a lot of different sports, in college universities. It even happened within my own family. My grandfather was actually a very, very good basketball player. I won't say how good because you guys might start to narrow me down. But who I am. But he, this was back in the 40s. He was given a house to go play for a certain university in addition to some other stuff. Anyway, so a few years ago, there was this high school football player in Mississippi called Leo Lewis, and a lot of different teams in the South wanted him because the Deep South is well known for its collegiate football programs. Anyway, so the way it usually works is, somebody meets the student and they give him some money, and then they say, hey, here's 5 figures, you're gonna come sign with us, right? I was like, yeah, sure, you got it, buddy. Well, Mr. Lewis was going around and taking bribes from multiple universities, because then, what are they going to say when he signs with somebody else? No, Mr. Lewis. It's like, no, hey, that Leo Lewis kid is, he cheated us. We paid him, $30,000 to come play for us. And he just took the money and didn't sign with us. That's not fair. Now, he ended up kind of getting hurt later on draft night when somebody got revenge on him. But it all worked out in the end for him. So, at least so far, I guess the story's never over until you're dead. But there's a whole documentary series on him. It's like probably an hour and a half long total. It's called Foul Play, and it's all on YouTube. Look it up. But yeah, so that's basically what we're going to do with Tusk here. We're going to take the money. We're going, sure. We're going to get, Underhaul or whatever the fuck your company is. We'll use them, definitely. But no. But thanks for the money, jackass. You big walrus-looking ass. All right. So, I am very happy we came to an agreement today, Mr. Tusk.
Likewise, President Rain. It was a pleasure doing business with you. We'll be keeping in touch.
Walter stood up, grabbed his jacket, and shook my hand before making his way towards the door. He smiled before closing the door and leaving. I gathered my things and prepared to finally head home. Did you accept his offer? Don't ever speak about it again. You didn't see anything. Of course, sorry to intrude. Were you trying to spy on me or something? Okay, is it time for the... Yep, there we go. Now we got 2 personal wealth. Good, so we can have it to... Now we got that in our pocket if we want to invest in anything. Kibner suggests expanding executive powers. Sure, sounds good to me. Reform demands are gaining popularity. Workers' Party Solidarity March. Bloodish citizens have been targeted. Okay, is it time for the... Are we going to the funeral or what? Economic relief plan. I'm not sure what I want to quite do here with these. I think this is the thing where I have to choose whether to send out the stimulus checks or not, or did I also get to do something else? When am I going to the damn funeral? That's what I really want to know, though. What are these other things here? Meeting with Marcel Caronti. That could be useful. I think that's the one where he's going to say he can get the media on my side. You see, how much will he actually help me? And where's the friggin' funeral? Finalization of the contract. Oh yeah, that's where we're going to screw Tusk. But I think what we want to do here is... Yeah, I guess we should just go ahead and do that now. Finalization of the H3 highway contract. Significant meeting. Gus couldn't make the meeting. I had Simon Hall and Leah Scraft by my side. Time travel by road will drop more than half. This project will improve the England region. I have lived with these people and seen them suffer. I trust your plans, Simon. I'm glad to hear that. We should be able to slow down the recession if we finish this project successfully. Positive financial outcomes are expected. According to my sources, this can lift many out of poverty in these areas. So, what kind of end results do we expect? Short-term employment and long-term economic development in the Nargis and Anglin regions. The underdeveloped cities of Linkbird and Avery will receive a lot more investment after this. Simon searched the documents he was holding and found the one he was looking for. I have the overview of the companies here. Oops, didn't mean to click Avery. Let's look at the files. So we've got the Storage State Corporation, the Underhaul Construction, who we're about to screw, and then Taurus, who we used before. Surely we're going for Storage State Corporation. Yeah. So I reviewed them. I also took the liberty of asking the mayor of Avery to give his opinion on the matter. Okay. Which corporation should we talk about? Let's talk about the State Corporation. The respected Swordfish State Corporation, also known as the SSC, was founded in 1891 and is the main state corporation tasked with running the day-to-day construction services of our country. The SSC is one of our most trusted and honorable companies. They have served us a long time. I've worked with them on several occasions. It would fulfill your initial election promise of using a state-dominant planned economy to improve the bleak economic prospects. They have the experience and the manpower to pull off a project like this. Secondly, they are the only company to have worked in the England region out of all three corporations. Oh, well, that seals it. The outdated construction methods they use concern me. The experience they bring to the table is beneficial. I don't agree with the negative statements for the SSC. Their record shows completed contracts with thousands of employees who have more than 20 years of experience. I like them, but I want to hear about the others. Let's hear about Underhall just before we screw them. The real estate and construction giant was founded in 1925. They expanded during the economic boom of the 30s. Picking this corporation would go against our planned economy policy. The CEO of Underhall is Chris Shaw, mayor of Conriat. He sold half his shares a few years ago. I had to work with... What's this? I accepted a bribe from the oligarchs. Yeah. Oh, Tusk is going to blow a gasket. I can't wait. I had to work with Underhall Construction before in Whole Sword. They took several contracts for the Central Station renovation and left much to be desired. The H3 project shouldn't be left to them. What are your thoughts, Simon? I think they've been doing relatively well in the private sector. Yeah, whatever. They treat workers below standards. No. Working conditions must be respected. This doesn't inspire confidence. No confidence! I agree. The workers were undocumented Angolian and Vezic immigrants with no papers, a clear violation of our laws. According to them, the reason of the bad labor conditions was because of the tight completion schedule, which still doesn't justify the situation. Underhall has mentioned their solid track record and highlighted the cost of the projects would be more than expected for a project of this scale, but finished on time. No. I'm not sure about Underhall. Sound like geeks. Okay, yeah, Taurus, we don't, whatever. Why shouldn't we go with Taurus? One of our promises would be expected. The company is completely private. It's too much of a risk. There's too much at stake here. Okay. If we're going to try a different company, this is the most unique. Yeah, whatever. I don't feel confident. Time to make a decision. I have settled on the SSC. Good that we're staying consistent to our economic strategy. Simon signed a certain section of the dossier and fixed his glasses. Some in the Lotherberg group won't like this, but the contract will be awarded to the Sortish State Corporation. Very glad that you have made this choice. I can tell from my experience that we will be satisfied with this corporation. The company will be notified today, and the construction work will begin immediately afterward. I think we are off to a good start. And then I just start cackling like a madman because I'm thinking about the bribe and they have no idea what's going on. I'm just going... They're going, wow, Anton's a little giddy today. Let's see. We're off to a good start. I'd better get back to work then. It's like, has anybody ever played Pokemon X and Y? There's a part where the person who ends up being the villain. Spoilers for like a 10-year-old game, I think. But there's a part where you meet the person who's going to be the villain eventually. He's like the head of that generation's Team Rocket, and he's friends with the professor. And he's just talking about, it's like, there's so many people in this world who aren't pure. It has to be cleansed. And he's got, like, this big hair, and he'll just, like, cackle maniacally and then run off to fulfill his plans. And then the professor, after he runs off, he just is looking at the door he ran through, and he smiles, and he goes, he's such a passionate guy. I love him. Or something like that. It's been a while since I played that game, but it was something to that effect. It's like, wow, the president's really passionate about the highway. What's this? Smolak is warning traitors. He wants border security increased. Whatever, this doesn't involve us. What are we gonna do next? We've got meeting with Marcel Caronti. See, in Marcel Caronti and Tusk, if I remember correctly, they don't like each other, even though they're both oligarchs. So that'll be good. What do we want to do here? I think what we want to do... Yeah, where are we, Sergey? We're in the HOS Country Club. I will be there shortly. I was approached by Peter and Lucien. I hope the journey was comfortable. Okay, the location is very remote indeed. Anything to keep me away from home. It wasn't bad. I was looking forward to this meeting. I can't think of comfort when our country is descending into chaos. When you put it like that. Alright. Two tall women. Marcel was standing at the window looking outside at the beautiful complex. He turned around to have a quick look at us both. He was a really handsome man with fair hair. He walked towards me with his hand reached out for a handshake. Oh, we'll give him a handshake. We gotta make these oligarchs think we're working with him. He had a firm grip. It is such a pleasure to meet you in person, Mr. Cronty. I appreciate your efforts to reach out for mutually beneficial friendship. Yeah. I admired your father very much. What voice did I want to give this guy? Was this the one I was doing, like, the Bruce Wayne thing? I don't even remember. But, welcome. Your kind words have touched me, Vice President. He was indeed a great man. Please accept our condolences. We are saddened. He would have been very happy to hear this from you, Mr. President. It's time to look forward. Let's talk about our bright future. Yes, there's much to discuss. Okay. Believe it or not, I have been a secret admirer of your political success. I find your quick rise to power was shockingly well executed. I would not be standing here if I was bad at what I do. Or, wait, no, let's just say thank you. Marcel gently pointed at the seats. We sat down around a gigantic table. Before speaking, he knocked on wood. The past months have been tumultuous, to say the least. I am glad you and your family were unharmed at the shooting. I just heard it was somebody else I gave that voice to, but hold on. The whole incident must have been a shock for the... Let me go a little... Oh, he's a little older, you know, so... the whole incident must have been a shock for the kids. They aren't used to what we lived through back in the late 20s. I still remember when my father took us out of the country when it became too dangerous in Conriat. Spare me your life story. No, sorry. They were startled, but the important thing is they're safe and sound. Of course, that's all that matters. No family should suffer from tragedy ever again. We've had enough of that. Well, I'm known to be a straightforward person, so let me get to the point without wasting your valuable time. It was during the Alfonso campaign when I was struck by what you have done within the party. Started to look at one of the paintings at the wall. Look at the painting. What's at the painting? What's the painting? The famous piece depicted a giant sleeping beneath a village. The trees, rivers, and hills were all part of the giant's body. Its eyes were two caves looking up at the people. It showed daylight at the far left and nighttime at the far right. The giant seemed to be watching the village. It was totally unbeknownst to the villagers. Marcel pointed his finger at me. That kind of sounds like something like a Thomas Cole painting, some of his fantasy landscape ones, like the Giant's Goblet, with where it's a huge, it looks like a cup and there's like boats in it and it's just this enormous piece of the landscape. Alright. You said we will transform this nation, Mr. Rain. My conglomerate has a way of doing things and I don't want them to change. So I want to cooperate with you. Cooperate? You might have the people's support now, Mr. President, but what happens when you make mistakes? Everybody makes mistakes. What is that supposed to mean? Let's hear his point, Vice President. Being a president in this country means having many enemies. Enemies that would resort to anything to bring you down. Whoops, what was that? Oh shoot, did I lose the... Okay, it's because whenever I hear the, you know, I think that's the alert that's telling me I'm out of hard drive space. Being a president in this country means having many enemies, enemies that will resort to anything to bring you down. Let's say these enemies caused a scandal or leaked sensitive information from the administration. These would be destructive when they were released, if they were released. You are playing continue. Assuming the articles would actually protect your integrity no matter what, try to imagine how up to 5 million people I reach will not lose faith in you. Let's hear your offer. I want 2 things, Mr. President. Number 1 is a guarantee from you that the Reign administration won't meddle in HOS affairs no matter what happens. Number 2 is a simple gentleman's favor for the future. Let me prove my services to you first, and I'm sure you won't disapprove when the time comes. It's an interesting proposal. Not just interesting, but necessary. You surely know that this is a win-win situation. The media will be on your side, strengthening your position. It will also protect my business operations throughout the changes this country will see. What do you think about this, Lucien? He leaned to my ear and whispered, I think it's a good deal. He's right. We need the media's support. With his newspapers and channels on our side, we can dodge a lot of bullets. I'm bothered by the favor request. So, do we have a deal? We're going to take the deal. We're going to screw him later. But, for right now, we got to get that Constitution passed. Happy to hear that. You can contact me personally through this number. As soon as you know that a story against you will break, please call me and it will be taken care of. I hope you will uphold your end of the bargain as well. As long as you do. You can count on me. We'll meet again. Goodbye. Oh, achievement unlocked. An offer you can't refuse. Back to Whole Sword. Okay, so, did I miss something and we're not going to the funeral? What is going on here? I declared my intention to work with the reformists. We might have to be going authoritarian, actually, but I'm sure we could change that later, hopefully. Might just kind of wiggle this. Swordland today. Oh, the contract was given to the old and outdated Swordish State Corporation with the decision of the president. Mega projects, such as the construction of ports, transport lines, including railways, motorways, and power plants, typically cost billions. They're difficult to manage. The decision of such a vital project to be given to the SSC should not have been taken so easily, as they suffer from an inefficient bureaucracy that often causes delays. Gee, I wonder who owns Swordland today. Construction begins for the project. SEC could build the line faster than the deadline at a much lower cost, according to a letter seen by The Economist. But opposition leader Richter has warned letting SSC handle H3 would be extremely questionable. The H3 project involves widening of hundreds of kilometers of existing motorways between Lochhaven and Arvery, including an open tunnel nearly 3 kilometers long. The highway will pass from Linkberg to Arvery and later will be expanded to the Angolian capital Stalpark. Okay, let's look here. So we've got media bias, experiencing organized interference from the state and private organizations. Okay. So that's going to be it for today. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm Conquering History Games, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.